Welcome to Japan and More, where we answer your questions about traveling Japan. Today's question is, what are the Tokyo etiquette rules?
The city is clean, safe, and efficient, even with a huge population of 14 million people. It's possibly because the people follow the rules and the etiquette. Tokyo is also the most popular city to visit for foreign tourists. So the city has put out several posters and etiquette tips for both the locals and the tourists to follow. So today you'll learn some of Tokyo's most important etiquette do's and don'ts.
These tips will help you be an invisible tourist while visiting Tokyo and the rest of Japan. We're going to talk about sightseeing, transportation, accommodations, and restaurants. First, let's talk about sightseeing. It's good to keep your voices down in public areas. The one thing that a lot of people on our tours mention is that Japan is incredibly quiet. It's quiet outside, inside, everywhere you go. So in general, it's good just to try to stay as quiet as you can. And that means don't shout to people that are far away. Even if you're outside, try to keep your voices down.
Don't litter. What I do is I keep a little plastic bag with me and I put all my trash in that. So you'll often see signs in Japan that says, keep your trash. Basically, you're responsible for your trash and you need to keep it with you and then dispose of it in the proper bins when you see a bin or when you get back to your hotel. Make sure you throw your trash away in the designated bins. Japan is notorious for separating their trash and they have different trash cans for different waste. You'll often see a bin next to vending machines. Those are not for general trash. Those are for plastic bottles, cans, and glass bottles.
And don't cut in line. There are lines for everything in Japan. There's going to be a line at the convenience store, the escalator, the bathroom. Just find where the line is and be sure to stand in it. Go to the back and stand in it. Oftentimes, especially at the convenience store, sometimes even for the bathrooms, there are marks on the ground. Look for those marks and then just stand in that line.
Keep the bathrooms clean. You'll be very surprised at how clean the bathrooms are in Japan. Don't leave any trash behind. The trash cans in the bathrooms are not for general trash. They're for bathroom trash, whether it's paper towels or sanitary products or anything like that. So don't throw your coffee cups, your candy wrappers, or your Coke bottles in there.
Be sure to flush the used toilet paper. Recently, there's been a lot of toilet paper ending up in the trash cans next to the toilets, which is making the bathrooms smell bad. And this is not typically something that was done in Japan before tourism. In Japan, you put the used toilet paper into the toilet, not in the trash can. So just be sure to do that. You might see some toilet paper in the trash can next to the toilet, so it might confuse you, but that is not what you're supposed to do. Be sure to put it into the toilet. When you wash your hands, try to dry them and not shake the water everywhere. Recently on the bullet trains and in a lot of the restrooms, there's been an accumulation of water everywhere because people wash their hands and then shake them everywhere because there's not a lot of hand dryers or paper towels. So what we tell people on our tours to do is to get a hand towel. In Japan, a lot of people carry their own personal hand towel. This is kind of just what you do in Japan. So it'll prevent you from having wet hands that you can just dry them off with the hand towel.
Sit in designated areas. Don't sit on the ground, don't sit on steps, and don't sit on curbs, especially at sightseeing areas. Don't sit on the steps of temples and shrines. These are sacred buildings, sacred areas. Usually there's a bench and you can sit there. If there's no benches, then basically they don't want you to be sitting anywhere around there. So only sit in designated areas.
And there's no smoking in public places. And this includes vaping. Anytime you see a sign for smoking, it also includes vaping. Smoking is prohibited on the streets, sidewalks, parks, anywhere that's a public place. You're only supposed to smoke in designated smoking areas. If you can't find one, you can ask somebody. There are designated smoking areas all over the city. Most hotels and restaurants also will have a smoking room, so you're not supposed to just go outside and smoke. Be considerate with photography. and obey any no photography signs. There are a lot of no photography signs at temples and shrines. You're not supposed to take pictures of the actual altars, so just obey those signs. And be careful when taking pictures of people. People don't like to get their picture taken directly in their face because they don't want you to put it on social media or anything like that. It's okay to take pictures from a distance. If you're taking pictures of a crowd of people, that's fine. But if you're going to take a picture of a close-up of somebody, you need to ask for their permission to do that.
Next, let's talk about transportation. If you're waiting for a bus, subway, or train, stand in a single file line. Don't group together with the people you're traveling with and form a circle. I know that we love doing that to talk, but if you stand in a single file line, it shows where the line is for other people who come up to wait in line for the transportation. Also, don't cut. If you're off doing something and your friends are in line and then you come and meet them, if the line has gotten longer, you shouldn't just join them in the line. You should go to the back of the line. If you're waiting for a subway or a train, then the doors open up like an elevator door. And you should line up on the left and the right side of the door and leave the center clear so that way people can exit the train. After they get through exiting, that's when you can funnel into the train and take a seat or find a place to stand.
And don't try getting on the train before everyone has exited. This is just going to back everything up. So wait patiently. Everyone will get off the train, and then there's still time for everyone to get on the train.
And then once you get on the train, make sure that you don't occupy any of the priority seats. Priority seats are reserved for elderly, disabled, pregnant women, and parents with a small child. These seats may be available, but don't occupy them if you don't qualify for any of those. They are often marked very clearly with a large sticker on the window. They're often a different color fabric. There may also be a large sticker on the ground in front of the seats.
And a lot of times someone isn't going to ask you to give up your seat. Or even if you see someone and you try to offer the seat, a lot of times they won't take it. So it's better just to leave them empty so that someone who needs them will take it when they get on.
Another thing when riding public transportation is keep your voice down. Trains are usually very, very quiet, so speak in a low voice. People use this time to relax on their commute. It's also so quiet so people who are blind can hear the announcements so they know when to get off the train or bus.
When you're riding trains, buses, and subways, make sure to make room when people are getting on. Even if you think that the area is packed, it's full, nobody else can get on, it's possible for more people to get on. This is Tokyo. There's always room for more people. So just try to move out of the way, go in closer towards the middle of the train or the bus. If you're traveling with luggage, keep your luggage close to you, backpacks in front or on the shelf. Actually, on buses, you shouldn't really take luggage. Use the luggage forwarding service and allow people to exit. You might have to let go of your strap. You might have to move out of the way. Don't block people's movement with your arm if you're holding onto a strap. So just kind of look around you and see if you're blocking anyone's way and try to move.
On subways and trains, the door could open on either side of the train. If you get on the train and the door's been opening on the opposite side, don't be surprised if it opens up where you're standing one time. So be prepared to move around the train as you're commuting to your destination. You don't have to plant. You can move around. It's not a problem.
Don't sit on the floor of trains and subways. It is a tripping hazard. It's dangerous. Even for children, if children are sitting on the floor, someone might not see them when they're trying to get off or on the train, and they could trip over them. They could hurt themselves, and they could also hurt the child, too. Nobody should sit on the floor of the trains and subways. Also, there's no eating and drinking on trains and subways in Tokyo. I was sitting next to somebody on the train one day in Tokyo, and she was eating some McDonald's, and I politely told her that you weren't supposed to eat on the trains and subways in Tokyo. And she told me that there wasn't a sign. So even though there may not be a sign, it is in fact a rule that you're not supposed to eat or drink on the trains and subways in Tokyo.
Don't make or take phone calls on the train. The best thing to do when you arrive in Japan is to put your phone on silent mode and just keep it on silent mode. If you've got an Apple Watch or a smart watch, that's great because then it vibrates when you get a message and you'll know. Don't have any sound go off when you're on the train. Don't take a phone call. Don't make a phone call. If you take a taxi while you're in Tokyo, be aware that the back passenger door will open automatically. Don't open the door yourself. Wait for the taxi driver to open the door. If you have 4 people and you want to sit 3 in the back and 1 in the front, make sure that you ask the taxi driver first before you just open the door and start getting into the taxi. And another thing is, don't tip the taxi driver. There's no need to tip.
Next, let's talk about accommodations. A lot of hotels have strict check-in and check-out times. So be sure to go on the hotel websites and just know that in advance, what the times are for check-in and check-out. If you know that you're going to be getting to the hotel earlier than the check-in time, you may want to contact the hotel and ask them if they can hold your luggage. A lot of hotels will hold your luggage before the check-in time, and they'll also hold it after the check-out time too. When you're in the hotel, keep your voice down. Just like everywhere in Japan, it's a quiet place. When you're walking down the halls, try not to be noisy. Even in your rooms, sound travels to the next room, so just try to keep your voices down. Hotels don't really like strong odors, so be careful of any strong-smelling food, incense, perfume, things like that. It takes a long time for the hotels to air out the rooms when they have those kinds of strong odors, so it's best not to bring those into the room.
Your hotel room is going to have a pretty small trash can. When it's full, don't place the trash outside the door and just leave it there. The best thing to do is to call the front desk and ask what their policy is on changing the trash. They may come and take the trash for you. They may ask you to put it outside the door once you've contacted them, but don't just tie up the bag and put it outside the door without letting them know that it's there. Also, if your hotel room has tatami mats, don't wear shoes or slippers onto the tatami mats. It will damage them. And don't drag or roll luggage on tatami mats either. Pick it up and then place it down in the place where the luggage is supposed to go. Often the hotel will lay a mat down on top of the tatami mat, and that's where your luggage is supposed to be placed. And last, let's talk about restaurants. Don't bring outside food or drinks into a restaurant. If you're out sightseeing, you're probably going to have a water bottle or a bottle of tea or something with you. Don't place that on the table and drink from it while you're inside the restaurant. Just keep it inside your bag and wait till you leave to open it and drink from it. Also, don't tip at restaurants in Japan. At most restaurants, you'll be served a small dish whenever you place a drink order. This is called otoshi, and it's basically a service charge, and that gets tacked onto your bill for each person that is dining at the restaurant. And this kind of takes the place of a tip. The otoshi cannot be refused, so if you see it on your check and you're surprised by it, you can't refuse to pay it. If you're concerned about an otoshi being charged, make sure you ask the restaurant before you're seated.
Lastly, if you make a reservation at a restaurant, then it's best to show up and don't be late. In Japan, if you're not early, you're late. Don't call and cancel at the last minute or even not show for a reservation. If you know that you're not going to be able to make it, then try to let the restaurant know as far in advance as possible.
They may have prepared food or purchased the food to prepare for that meal, so letting them know in advance gives them an opportunity to do something with that food.
These tips will help you be an invisible tourist while visiting Tokyo and the rest of Japan. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and tell us your questions about traveling Japan in the comments section below. We might answer it in the next episode.
And for more information about traveling Japan, check us out on japanamore.com. Thanks for watching.